It's time now for a Golf Today roundtable as we continue this discussion with golfchannel.com senior writer Rex Hoggard and golfdigest.com contributor Shane Ryan. Shane, I want to start with you. Where does the Rory McIlroy win yesterday rank in terms of importance in his career arc for you, given what we've seen in the last few years with those near misses?
You know, because of how important majors are to his legacy, I almost think that's a question that we're going to have to answer next year. So if you were to go on and be under pressure in the Masters or the U.S. Open and win, I think we can easily look back and say, you know, having experienced what he did, we saw the quote from him earlier where his legs were shaking on 17. He came through, he did what he needed to do, and maybe sort of killed the demons from Pinehurst. Then we could say it's unbelievably important, right? Kickstarts the second half of his his major career, you could call it, and it will be huge. Now, if he goes and doesn't win a major for 3 more years, then we'll say, well, nice to win a Players' Championship, but ultimately it didn't have as huge an impact as he would have liked. So mark your calendars, mark this date next year, have me back on, and I'll give a more definitive answer.
Duly noted. Rex, I threw this on Twitter yesterday. I was saying there are 3 doors that Rory can go through going forward when it comes to majors. He could rip off a major this year, maybe win another 4 to 5 in his career, end up like a Tom Watson. Maybe he wins 1, 2 more in his career, a Seve to the Phil Nick-Faldo range, or the nightmare scenario, he never wins another major. What would you say is the most likely path at this point of his career?
I'm probably not going to go in line with what social media said yesterday, because I think 1 or 2 or even maybe 3 is going to be the path going forward, only because it's so hard to win them now. It's not as though Scotty Scheffler is going to quit playing golf or Xander Schauffele is going to quit playing in major championships. They've proven over the last decade that they're really hard to win for Rory, but you can certainly see it not just coming off this victory, but what he did at Pebble Beach, what he did last year on the PGA Tour. I think everything is angling towards that. It's still difficult to imagine him being able to go on one of those runs, though, like he did early in his career, just because of the level of competition that he faces now.
Rex, there were a couple of guys in the mix over the weekend, Bud Cauley most notably, who got into the tournament pretty late. They're very much in the journeyman category of the PGA Tour, and they were contending and certainly added something to the tournament. Is that an argument against this idea of just further reducing fields, making it tougher and tougher for those guys to get out on tour? And if it is an argument in that, will it be heard by the whiz kids of Greater Fenway?
I would hope so, because that's a great example of what you're probably going to go without at the signature events now. With 72-player fields, you just are not going to have that avenue. Now, to be fair, J.J. Spaun played his way into those signature events this year by playing really well. So there still is a avenue, but I just think by narrowing that pathway, it's just a math game at that point. Someone's going to fall away. Someone's not going to be able to make it through to get to that stage where you can do something like what Bud Cauley did last week. And it was such a good story. Local guy coming off of that horrific car crash way back in 2018. I think it really added to the texture certainly going into Sunday.